I can say nothing. What should I say? Just, you know, the footages can show you everything. Thousands of Za'arin of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam are just in the street of Qibla of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. I'm sorry, not thousands, but let's say 10,000 or maybe more. Because the street is a wide street and it is all full of Za'arin of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. It's hard for them to walk freely because they're walking one next to the other. MashaAllah. So are you missing Ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam? Are you missing Karbala? Let's start. Let's perform the first Ziyarah. Send the first salam and salutation to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And after that I will be receiving your calls, your messages, your voice messages if you are not able to call. So inshallah all of us are going to be Za'arin of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارته. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Let's face the holy shrine of Abu al-Fadl Abbas عليه السلام قمر بني هاشم. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا قمر بني
قاعدة بصفك وظلتي تلون الرباط. شلون لو قاعدة بصفك وظلتي تلون الرباط. شلون لو صاحن باسمك اقعد وزيح التراب. اقعد. شلون لو قاعدة بصفك وظلتي تلون الرباط. شلون لو صاحن باسمك اقعد وزيح.
I'm receiving a text message here from a Zahra of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and I'm gonna read it. Thank you so much, really thankful. Please keep up this spirit, because the people who cannot come to the holy shrine but their voices reaches there will be grateful with salam and du'as and blessings from Mawla and getting blessings from Mawla. Take care ya Ali Madad, labbaik ya Hussein, labbaik ya Abbas. This respected viewer is also sending a voice message. So it's less than a minute, so let's listen to this voice message. Maybe it's a ziyarah.
عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بخيت وبخير والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العيد من دين سلال. وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. شكرا brother, thank you so much, really appreciate it. Let's remember this and you guys are doing a really great job. That's really appreciated. Person who cannot reach the Karbala, their voice are echoing in the atmosphere of Karbala, and they have bells. When expressing gratitude for salvation. So it's really appreciated. Please keep the spirit alive, because if the people cannot reach over there, please can reach over there. And they can do salam and du'as and tell whatever inside their hearts for getting the blessings, whether they are, sick and all those things. It's really helpful. Again, bless our brothers, we appreciate it. really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Remember your prayers, and me and my family and your father is alive.
MashaAllah. This twice. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I just want to ask a question. I want to ask a question from every person who's watching this live Ziyarah show right now. I would like to ask a question from everyone who believes in Imam Hussein and everyone who doesn't believe in Ahl al-Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. What makes an individual with the heart of people to change them like this, to change them, be ready to sacrifice for him. This question, I'm asking this question from both believers and non-believers. Believers have got the idea and have got the answer, and they know the value of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And non-believers need to search, need to find out, need to know Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Who is this individual? Who is Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam? Allahu Akbar. Ya Hussein, after more than 1,380 years of his martyrdom, alone in Karbala with his companions, in the most terrific way, being martyred and beheaded, and his body being cut and chopped up. Even his finger was cut out of his body to bring and take the ring off the finger. This Mawla Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam left an effect in the heart of the people throughout the history. That's why even more than 13 centuries after his martyrdom, there are millions of people who are ready to sacrifice themselves. Ya Abu Abdullah, I would like to ask a question from the believers. Only one question. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts cure in the soil of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, in turba of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, while in turba of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, there is no such an effect? Why should Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam's soil, turba of Karbala, be of such a great value in comparison with all the other soils from all around the world? Why? Is it that because Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam guaranteed the resistance and existence of Islam? The Holy Prophet Muhammad the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, spent 23 years of his pure and perfect life distributing Islam and introducing it to people, to the most ignorant people ever. Then he could make and teach students like Salman, like Ammar, like Abu Dhar, like Miqdad. But all this effort would have been perished if it wasn't for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, if it wasn't for his sacrifice. So Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam is the one who watered the plant of Islam and made it remain by his blood. يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. يا الله يا الله يا الله بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. May Allah hasten the reappearance of Imam of our time, for the sake of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Every single Za'ar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam who is passing this route, who is moving and having steps to reach the whole son of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, is going to be granted, is going to be blessed. Thousands, the thawab of thousands, Hajj and Umrah for each step. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Just shame, shame on the studios, TV channels, shame on the international TV channels which don't cover this great event. Shame on those channels and broadcasting companies which assume themselves right and in time broadcasting. Shame on them if they don't broadcast this great event and don't let the whole world hear and listen to the sound of each and every Za'ar here. Why should the sound of people in an unknown place being echoed by the media, but the voice and the sound of millions of Za'areen of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam be boycotted and banned from entering the everyone's house? This is the real life. This is exactly why we're living for. My dear brothers and sisters, you are believers. You're watching this live ziyarah show and you believe in Imam Hussein alayhi salam and you have faith in Imam Hussein alayhi salam, so you greatly know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry if I'm not answering the phones because I can barely hear the sound, your voices over the phone, and even the microphone can't just get the voice. But I would like to send this message to the whole world. I would like to take the advantage of this time, this moment, and this very, very moment that I'm in, by the atmosphere, by the the situation that I'm in. I would like to send a message to the whole world. Dear human beings, not only Shia Muslims, dear human beings, if you are a believer of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, then you have the idea why these people are gathering here and visiting the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But if you haven't still heard about Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, or you have questions about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, I beg you to know him. Increase your knowledge. The religion of Islam and Tashayyu', the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we strongly recommend every and each human being on the planet Earth to increase his knowledge. Science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, psychology, medical science, They never ever contradict with the Islamic belief, with the narrations of Ahl al-Bayt. When I say this, I mean it. There are lots of new technologies and new scientific ideas and hypotheses which have truly seen that the Islamic ideas and narrations from 14 centuries ago are true. There are some narrations which the knowledge, the today knowledge, is still unable to talk about or to understand its meaning. But it doesn't mean that Islam is wrong. My dear brothers and sisters, we are living in the era of technology and information. Let the whole world know about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Let the whole world know about the value of this great individual. Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Hussein ibn Ali, you are the ark of salvation and the lantern of guidance. إن الحسين مصباح هدى وسفينة نجاة. Indeed, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the ark of salvation and the lantern of guidance. And he guides us. These days, due to the information and the news that we hear from the European and American countries, unfortunately, stupid ideas and behaviors are expanding and being advertised. I don't want to just name them even in this pure and sacred place, but they are trying to fulfill the request of Satan by talking about, the gender and the other things. Allahu Akbar. Instead of curing the disease of mental patients, in return, they just leave it open. Instead of curing those mental issues, they leave those sick people do whatever they want and make the other sex and the other people on this earth sick just like themselves. What were you doing during the pandemic? Didn't you tell people to wear masks and be aware of not being affected? So why now, when a person introduces a wrong and toxic idea, instead of curing him and helping him, you propagate and echo this sick idea, and on the other hand, you ban the sound of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Just let's think. Why is that? Why people don't like, why those medias don't want the sound of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam to be heard by the whole world? Because it doesn't benefit them. Because the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam revives humanity and freedom and independence of the materialistic things here. Connects the hearts directed to Allah, to the divine, and people start living like real human beings rather than living like, sorry for saying that, animals, just fighting for their daily lives. The message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam has to be propagated, has to be introduced to the whole world. My dear brother and sister, my dear brothers and sisters who are watching this live ziyarah show right now, believe it or not, it's our duty to introduce Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in to the whole world. It's our duty to show the whole world how great Imam Hussein alayhi salam is by reading and knowing the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, by introducing to the others in different ways, in the most beautiful ways. Imam al-Rida alayhi salam says, Rahimallahu man ahya amrana. May Allah bless those who revive our issue. One of the companions of Imam al-Rida alayhi salam asks him, O son of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, Yabna Rasulullah, how can we revive your issue? And Imam says, learn our narrations and tell it to the other people. So people when hear the beauty and the perfection of our narrations, they will indeed follow us. So now it's our turn to learn the narrations and the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in as much as we can. And then tell it to the others. Propagate it all over the world. Believe me. Believe me, dear brothers and sisters, there are lots of people all around the world who still haven't heard about Ahlul Bayt, haven't heard about Tashayyu', haven't heard about Islam. Once they know about Islam, they will love it. But you need to introduce it truly, just like as it is. Stop saying that Islam is just like that country or this country. These days, no country on the face of earth is following the pure Islam. End of the story. You may say that, okay, there's a country named Islamic country, or the other country is named Islamic country. There are lots of people, lots of preachers, lots of scholars in that places, and they are ruling here, there, I don't know. And they are just trying to govern the country in an Islamic way. I would say no. None of these countries show the true Islam, the pure Islam perfectly. They may try to apply some of Islamic rules and regulations, but they are not applying them all completely. So if you ask that, okay, So what is the benefit in knowing Islam if no country is able to apply the rules, the Islamic rules? I would say that the Islamic rules for governing a country has to be applied by imam, by a ma'soom, by an infallible imam. But knowing Islamic rules is indeed great and good for us, for our daily life, for the ideology and for the vision that we're going to have about our future and how we build our future. You're not supposed, or the people who know Islam, they are not supposed to just stand against their governments. They'll just do riots or, just change the government. No. You need to change yourself from inside. Those who believe in Islam, those who believe in Tashayyu' and the narrations and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, peace and blessing be upon them, they will follow a lifestyle through which they will show a better world to every human being who is in contact with them. Notice, I'm talking about the true Islam, not the fake Islam. Not the fake Islam which is applied by the governments or those terrorists or those people who assume themselves as Muslims, but they really have got nothing to do with Islam. They have nothing to do with it. Islam is the religion of peace. Imam Hussein is the master of peace. We learn from Ahlul Bayt. We learn from these great individuals, and they teach us how to live. How to live just like a human being. And inshallah, we try our best to follow the rules of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. The time is passing so fast, and there are lots of things to say. There are lots of things to talk about, and there are lots of things to learn from Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. If you've got a kid, teach them. Teach them the value of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. At least every day, read a narration of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een for them, and try to translate it for them. Interpret the narration to them. Let them know it. There is Nahj al-Balagha out there, full of great and perfect ideas. Sahif al-Sajjadiyya, Kamil al-Ziyarat. There are hundreds of books out there which can help us know the narrations of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in better. So let's teach the new generation, the next generation, the value of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in. And inshallah, one day, as today was Friday, inshallah, one day, all of us witness the reappearance of Imam of our time. And we see how people join this great Imam, and by his leadership the whole world will be free of oppression, and the whole world lives in justice and purity. My dear brothers and sisters, Karbala sends these messages to the whole world. the most perfect and the purest messages ever heard are sent roughly about 14 centuries ago by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, and his grandson, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And these messages are still echoing. They are still echoing into the atmosphere. So let's take the best advantage of them. Thank you so much, my dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers, for tuning in. I'm sorry if I didn't answer the phones because, you know, it was really noisy here, so I could barely hear you. But inshallah, the other days, the other nights, I'm going to be at your service receiving your calls, and you are going to be Zahra of Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam. Thank you so much for tuning in. May Allah bless you all, and labbaika ya Hussein.
We have all lost loved ones. Our duty of care towards parents, siblings, friends, and family does not end with their death. Rather, we have a duty to pray for their forgiveness and to continue our kindness by conveying rewards to them by reciting